Now, where are you from?
I'm from Chicago, East Side, 79th, stay to the lake, cottage.
And still living there?
Oh yeah, we still in Chicago, no talking, all day, every day.
Now, what was it like for you growing up in Chicago? Paint the picture for us.
Well, I grew up, family of 7. I'm the middle child, 5th child. I got 4 other brothers, 2 sisters. We grew up in 2-bedroom apartments, Chatham, Everline. We was born and raised on 69th and Dante. We moved from 69th and Dante to 75th and Langley. And then from 75th and Langley, we stayed on 82nd and Eberhard and 81st and Evans for the remainder.
Was it rough?
Oh man, it's rough anywhere you go, but growing up in my neighborhood, yes, Chatham is very rough, Chicago.
What was maybe your roughest moment growing up?
Roughest moments growing up, I basically want to say in my early adolescent teen years, choosing the streets, not really having to be in the streets.
I see.
Yeah.
Now, you said you didn't have to really be in the streets. Why go that route?
I mean, the streets.
Was it?
Far as me being in the streets was something that I wanted to do at the time, and I just thought the streets was the way out. But the older I got, the more wise I became, and I felt you got to grow more spiritually with yourself.
How old were you when you got out the streets?
A little bit right after my twin death, because I seen it was just an effect on me that somewhere down the line, karma has a part for everybody or something.
Now, you had a twin brother.
Yes, I had a twin brother. His name was Michael Chapman.
How far apart were you guys?
We was born a minute apart.
He looked just like you?
He was my fraternal twin brother, actually. He was a little bit taller than me, lighter, low cut.
When you say fraternal twin, what does that mean? To somebody might just assume twins are twins. What does fraternal mean?
Well, as you would know, identical twins would look alike. They had the same similarities. Fraternal twins would have the opposites, and they would just be similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how did your brother die?
He got killed in Chicago, on the east side of Chicago. Just wrong time, wrong place.
How old were you?
I was 22 when it happened.
Okay.
I was 22 years old.
And how did you hear about it?
I got a phone call in the middle of the night, and I was out of town. And when I got the phone call, it was my mom. She was just telling me that my brother was in the hospital, but instantly in my head, I knew that something was wrong. So I hung up the phone because I couldn't believe it. And I sat there and I just looked at the phone. And then I kind of came back to my senses. And when I came back to my senses, my little brother was calling me. My little brother Steve, that's the co-founder of the movement. And he was just like letting me know that my brother had got shot. And once he said that, I instantly just started picturing bad thoughts, because I couldn't picture nothing else happened to my brother besides being shot.
Where was he shot?
He was shot in the neck. He got shot in the neck, and he was DOA on the scene. Him and my other close friend, Reginald Riley, Rolex.
When you got that call, did they know he had already passed away and they didn't tell you, or no one really knew, they just wanted you to come to the hospital?
Everybody called me a little bit after the fact. The stuff happened, it had already happened. So either way it go, my brother was like dead, and if he didn't die, he would have been a vegetable. So I'm just happy he got to live his life the way he lived his life at a certain point, to where he didn't have to live as a vegetable. But when I got the news, I was messed up about it. Anybody would be messed up about their own sibling getting shot or hurt or anything. But at the same time, it was just something that when it happened, it just took me by like awe. It just took everything up out of me, like, for real.
You have several brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Did you, out of everybody in your family, did you have the closest relationship with your twin?
Yes, me and my twin had a close relationship, but my little brother, Steve, he always been around us, and, you know, by him being a baby, we got to treat the baby the best, and, like, me and my brother made sure we paved the way in the streets that my little brother didn't have to, but with my little brother growing up on the side of us, he still made himself part of whatever we was doing. So it's like whatever we doing, he's with it. But at the same time, we still paved our way for whatever street marks that needed to be touched.
Now, how does one cope with the death of their brother? How does one deal with that?
You need a real support team. You need God. You need faith. And you got to understand just everything happened for a reason. Your life is destined. And as far as having a twin, yeah, you born here with them, but you too must die. And it might be the same time, which is rare. But for those who actually lose one and the other is still alive, it's common because we all can't live forever. So just make sure however you live, if you got a twin, you leave a precious memory with them and try not to have too many harsh times. That's all I could say.
What's your favorite memory of your brother?
My favorite memory of my brother, I want to say, is actually when he found out that he was able to, to have a child. He had a child on the way before he passed, and him waiting on his child to come and actually dying before his son was born, little MJ, was just, it's messed up. It's fucked up because my twin baby moms still need that support from not just our family, but her family, our friends. It's a lot of fate that come between all that too, because at the end of the day, it's a lot of people that's in our face saying they got us or they gonna help her, but at the same time, who really helping who? We got a whole little seed that my brother left here after the fact that he died. Like, who gonna help take care of them kids? Like, somebody gotta step up, and I just know how to play my role and know my part.
I see. Now, going back to your upbringing, what type of student were you in school?
Man, well, first grade, well, when I was little, I used to, it's crazy, but I used to have seizures. I was little. I used to have seizures. So growing up having seizures, people really didn't know what I used to be doing because I get to blanking out or staring or going to sleep in class a lot. And then it got to a point where I found out I'm having seizures. So when I kind of found out, it seemed like it kind of messed with my conduct because I was a problem child. Like, I'm always in trouble, getting suspended and everything. I went to Dixon Elementary School. I went to Simeon Career Academy. I went to Indiana University at Bloomington. Like, you know, I did everything I can to try to make it up out of the streets, you know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't got to be in the streets. That's why they made sidewalks.
And after your brother had died, that's when you got out of the streets and made that decision?
I mean, yeah, I had to. Like, I got kids growing up. I got 4 different baby mamas, you know what I'm saying? 4 different kids. I got 2 sons and 2 girls. I got to be free and out to make sure I raise my sons and let them know that don't do what daddy did and make the same mistakes. And I got to raise my daughters to be young queens and don't talk to the type of guys daddy had to be at the time.
Did you graduate high school?
Yes, I graduated high school. I actually graduated high school on some, like, fluky shit, man. Like, real talk. Like, I had to do American school, night school. I had to catch up on all my grades. Like, man, that shit was crazy. Like, I got kicked out from my twin. Like, my twin got us kicked out. But at the same time, he had to go to a whole different school. He went to South Shore High School. But he went to Simeon, too. But he got kicked out for shooting somebody that went to our school that we grew up with. So it was just like the school was making it seem like we was threats or targets. And I'm like, man, it ain't even one of them type of things. Like, it was just a big mishappening. And, like, to this day, me and the person that altercation happened with, we cool. So it's like, it really ain't nothing in between all that, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers know just like, when it's playtime, but when it's real, it's gonna get real, you know what I'm saying?
So you were expelled?
I mean, basically, yeah, we got expelled. We had to have a hearing. Like, my mama had to come up to the school, had all types of meetings with them people and stuff, everything. Like, I got kicked out my sophomore year. I got back my junior year, and I had to rush and catch up with all that. So I had to do summer school, night school, American school, and I had to be the good guy because I was messing up. I was like a demon in high school, boy. I was real demonic.
He didn't have to serve any jail time or anything?
Man, all that happened when he was 16. We just turned 16, and he was in the juveniles in the juvie on 14th and Hamilton. So he actually wound up getting like some probation or something. And then at the same time, like I say, it was just a misunderstanding, man. Like he shot somebody before, so like that's probably like how it happened. You know what I'm saying? He got shot. That was karma, but how that shit happened, like it happened how it happened, and you know what I'm saying, no talking, you know what I'm saying, like what happened in the streets, leaving in the streets, you know what I'm saying, like I feel as a man, if you're gonna be out here, leave all that street stuff out your house, you know what I'm saying, you already fighting the judicial system, you already fighting your family, you already fighting your friends, so make sure you separate everything, because at the end of the day, you don't wanna have none of that stuff in one house. That's gonna be a big mess.
Tried college?
I mean, college, I actually went for a semester, man, because I lost my first best friend. His name was Jacoby Ramsey, and he got shot 17 times leaving my crib. I had just took him to a Simeon Morgan Park game. We was at the basketball game. He came to my crib. You know what I'm saying? Kobe was like one of them type of guys. He was a dancer. He wanted to rap. He wanted to style. He wanted to beat you up if he can. He wanted to crack jokes on you. And he knew how to flip. Like, that was my man's. Kobe, R.P. Kobe.
Now, you tried college.
Yeah, I tried, but I was in the streets. I liked the streets too much. Like, the streets, I just thought the streets was everything at the time. Like, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, but at the same time, you ain't got to choose the streets all the time.
So you dropped out of college. What grade? Freshman, sophomore, junior?
I was a freshman. I wish I could have became a sophomore. Like, I'm trying to get transcripts now. Like, the good thing about it, I'm not in no big depths or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't owe the school nothing. So.
What college did you go to?
Indiana University at Bloomington, IU, Hoosier.
And what would you have majored in?
Well, I wanted to do criminal justice, but that ain't work.
Does that school equal to its reputation?
I mean, yeah, they known for law, music. That's everything and some. They got the basketball team. Remember the dude Bobby Knight was out there choking the players up.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you quit college, you stay in the streets, your brother dies. That's when you reevaluate, get out the streets, and then the clothing line starts.
Yeah, what had happened was after Kobe, I wound up going to jail. I went to jail for some drugs, and I went to jail for some checks. And I mean, you know, I wanted money. I was just thinking money at the time. So me doing whatever I was doing, I'm thinking that was the way, and that wasn't even the way, because I wound up getting in trouble. And now I'm getting in trouble for stuff that I can't get out of. These people either want money or they want my time, and it came to a point where these people wanted time. So now that I'm doing all this stuff, I'm really trying to figure out a way out. So, like, me basically choosing a way out or staying in was the hardest choice. So I tried to do whatever I can to get the way out, and I actually stayed in. So it was a time I had to go sit down, you know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. Like, I sat down, then I got out, and then my twin died. So it's like we just seen the type of money we was able to hustle up on, then he didn't even get to enjoy it. So
How much time did you have to serve?
I did 2 years.
County jail, prison?
Yeah, pen.
Now, what do you say, okay, looking back, hindsight, and when you quit college, what was their reaction?
My mom was just like, why did I do that? But at the same time, I lost Kobe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't nobody understand. Like, that's my first death that hit home that I felt. And then knowing that stuff can happen in your face and you not cherish the moment, that made me realize, like, I got to appreciate my own life. So I dropped out of school to do what I thought was the right choice, and now I'm facing all the consequences.
I see. Now, what do you say to somebody watching this interview, listening to your story? Let's say it's a kid in high school, and they have one foot in the streets, right? One foot in school, and school's about to end. High school's about to be over. They got to make the next decision in their life. What do you tell a kid like that?
As long as you ain't got no felonies, as long as you ain't no in-crowd person, get out while you can. Focus on what's going to be your next best move, because what the next person got in store for you might not be the best. So think with your own mind and use your own tool and make sure you make it happen, because you only got yourself at the end.
Now, what do you tell somebody that's got a felony? That's for advice for somebody that doesn't have a felony.
Well, I mean, if you got a felony, you should know, like, I can't get in no more trouble. This ain't the right place to be. I don't need to be with this right crowd. Like, why am I carrying this? Like, it's messed up as far as, like, different states, different laws. But if you are in the real Chicago, L.A., Miami, New York areas, and you thinking about toting and rolling, get it concealed, keep it carried. Make sure you got that 40 card, and don't be walking around here thinking you Wild Wild Western, because these people, they waiting on us to cap off so they can cap on us. They getting the biggest cap. They the cappers.
Jobs you had growing up, if any?
Well, I grew up, my father, he had a hauling service. It was called We Haul anything, anywhere, anytime. That's why I got my hustle to really try to produce the clothes and manufacture, because my father was an entrepreneur. He worked for the post office, but my mom was like a real advocate. Like, she worked with the LSC, the PTA, the Board of Education. It was a point in time where she was working for Curves, this workout company, and the Board of Education, and she had to choose. And then at the time, she couldn't even work for the board because me and my brothers was starting too much. Like, we had my mom up at that school all the time, all the schools, Dixon and Simeon.
Is that the only job?
Nah, I used to wash cars when I was little. Man, anything. Cut grass, plow snow.
Any of those jobs tough that you mentioned?
Nah. I mean, some of the toughest that I could say was because I got my certificate for electricity. So me refreshing my brain on doing certain stuff, yes, that's hard. And if I could go back to school, I'd definitely try to finish up on my trade, get another trade or something.
Any crazy stories dealing with any of those jobs? Anything out of the norm?
I want to say the craziest thing was when I used to wash cars on 72nd and Stony. This was my sister's and friend, Zell. He owned the car wash. And he let me work. I was 14 years old, and all the big money dudes used to come up in that thing with them cars. So they coming in there with big light trucks, spinners on them, old schools. Like, I liked it all this stuff because I liked cars when I was little. And man, I got to drive every car that was coming in there. So that's what kind of made me want to boss it up and give me one of them type of whips, because I was working in a car wash. All the dope dealers was coming up in there.
Good tips?
Tips, oh yeah, all the time. I used to, every day, I worked for that car wash for like 3 months. I made at least $50 to $100 a day, easy.
What's the most tip you ever got?
The biggest tip from one person, I want to say it had to have been about $30. $30. I was only 14, 15 years old.
Did you quit any of those jobs you mentioned? Got fired from them? What happened?
Man, it's crazy, because when you in Chicago, if you're not consistent on your grind, you're going to be content with certain stuff. So I wasn't content with none of that stuff, and I wanted the big money. I wanted the big prize, you know what I'm saying? So nah, I didn't last working.
So you quit?
Yeah, basically.
Now, you mentioned in this interview your mother. What happened to your father?
My father, he's still alive, but it's just, you get older, and I talk to him from time to time. But my mom, she was the one that was like really mom and dad at the time. So like, that's who I want to make sure who's being acknowledged is my mom, Peggy. Like, she deserves it all, you know what I'm saying? She had 7 kids. Art had 7 kids too, but Peggy, she did it. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her.
What are the sleeping arrangements like for 7 kids and a mom?
Man, if you in Chicago and you working good, you know, man, a 2-bedroom, 700, a 3-bedroom might be 1,200, 1,400, depending on where you at.
But what's the sleeping arrangements like? Was it like 4 kids in one room?
Oh well, I'm gonna tell you like this, and what I clearly remember. When we stayed on 8248 South Everhart, man, we had a 2-bedroom. My mama had her room, and me and my brothers, we'd sleep almost anywhere. Me, Steve, and Mike could sleep anywhere we can. AJ had the living room. Tony didn't stay there, and Carla and Kane, they stayed there like that's what they did. You know what I'm saying? But me, shit, I slept anywhere. On the floor, on the bed. Man, on the couch, for real.
How old were you when your parents separated?
We was little, and so we really didn't know what was going on. So as we got older, we started to see the conflict, and it had to happen like at least, I want to say about a little bit right before my brother died.
Still got a good relationship with your father?
Yes, I still talk to my father.
In regards to your parents, what's the worst thing you put them through? Was it going to jail?
I want to say going to jail is definitely on top of the list because they look at me as the golden one. And when I say the golden one, I'm everything that they'll put their bet on. So I can't let them down. I can't let myself down. I can't let my twin spirits down. I can't let God down. So me going to jail is definitely one of the worst things ever. So
now, in regards to your siblings, anybody else in your family rap aside from yourself or just you?
It's crazy. Like, I've been rapping since 2010. So 2011, I was kind of going through my picking myself back up flow. So I'm picking myself back up 2012, 13, and I kind of just start putting my energy into clothes. I think as an artist, merchandise is a #1 rule. Like, you gotta have merchandise. Merchandise is your promo.
So did the clothing company start as merch for you as a rapper, or did the clothing company start and then you kind of like intertwined it with your music?
It started off as an apparel entertainment company, actually, because we was pushing the music wave as well. So the music was already going coincide with the promotion. So with the promotion, we intertwined the actual clothes, and we came with our apparel line.
Because I think when I heard Slowbuck's story, his shirt first started out as a promo shirt for the music, I believe, and then it grew into
our stuff came because basically I started off only with 4 shirts, and this was like a real $100 dream that turned into something big that I have no control over today. So me seeing 4 shirts, 2 girls and 2 boys going to 1,000 shirts everywhere, and seeing the rappers, you know, shout us out daily, you know what I'm saying, on the Chicago drill scene, and seeing the other big celebrities, as far as the big rappers making no talking songs, I felt honored because I know that at a point or whatever I'm doing right now, I'm doing something.
I had a brain freeze for a second. Did you say somebody else does rap music in your family besides yourself, or just you?
Just me.
Okay.
I got a cousin named DJ Twin. He DJ for Sean Kingston. So that's my little cousin.
Have you guys collabed?
I talk to my little cousin. I support whatever he doing. He support what I'm doing. So the collab is near wherever.
Now, what does your family think about your rap career?
They be telling me, they be like, boy, you doing a lot. But I say a lot gonna get a lot of money.
What about the clothing company? What do they think?
You know, same thing. Like when they sent the clothes and I had to let my family know. I got a cousin named Rico. He down in Mississippi. He felt what I was feeling at the family reunion back in 2011. I told our family, look, I got a vision, I got a dream, and I'm gonna live it. No talking. I ain't got nothing to talk about. If y'all gonna support me, support me. But if not, it's cool. Y'all gonna see me at the top.
And you said your little brother is also involved with the clothing
Yes,
part.
he's the co-founder.
Anybody else in your family besides him, or just him?
Well, my family is natural born supporters. Anybody else?
No. But I mean, like hands-on working with the clothing company.
No, it's we got my no talking promoter, and in the streets right now we got Chicago radio. We got the no talking app. You know, so he's pushing that.
No, but I mean, anybody in your family hands-on aside your little brother working?
No, it's only me and Steve.
Gotcha.
We're the only ones that's manufacturing anything. We got the actual store. Shout out Big City on 74th and Cottage. They was at the beginning of the mile. They still running with us right now. Shout out everybody that actually helped us on these clothes, because like I say, it's not easy starting a clothing line. It's not nowhere near easy.
Now, with the rap career or the clothing company, were your parents supportive of it?
My mom is my biggest supporter. My dad, he definitely supported me. Like my dad will be a part of my travel entourage, but my mom is gonna be like the real voice. Like that's who I come back to, and she tell me the real yes and the real no of whatever I'm doing.
Were they supportive right away, or did they have to warm up to it?
Well, my mom seen what I was going through, so she'd talk to me however she can. My father, he basically just told me whatever I'm doing, just go through with it and don't let nobody stop me from doing what I'm doing.
Now, we talked about a variety of subjects in regards to your upbringing, but overall speaking, what would you tell the youth today? What's your message to them?
I want the youth to sit down, focus on the big picture. The big picture is to be developed. Grow into the inner you and mellow the situation. Because at the end of the day, when you dead, your competition, whoever you facing with, gonna be in the same spot with you. So live for yourself. Do your own thing. Make yourself happy. Go hard. No talking. Do your own thing. Foot on next. No other way about it.